I'm a good man, shake your hand, firm grip rule, 72 wins, lost 10, ballin' with the flu, more than 2 M's.
We're gonna talk about positive self-talk today. I think it's very, very important, and I'm gonna break it down in this way. There have been many scenarios that positive self-talk is probably the most important thing. I was talking to my love earlier, and when I reference to my love, that's my girlfriend, my future wife, my fiance, my soulmate. So that's what it is, okay? That's who she is. So let me break this down to you. Positive self-talk is so, so important. Do you know why self-talk is so important? Also, one, your words create your world. There's this little saying people say all the time, your words create your world. But also, too, whenever you say it, you also hear it. Like, you're the first person who hears what you say. And a lot of times we don't think about that. You know, and it's crazy. We will downplay, and we will, I guess you say, yeah, we will downplay the negative self-talk. Oh, I just look ugly today, or I'm not feeling myself today. We will downplay and joke about it because it makes it palatable. It makes it easier to digest, but no, it's actually wrong. And let's just make this in this moment. Wrong is wrong and right is right, okay? Regardless of certain things, like wrong is wrong and right is right. And I'm saying this in the perspective of it's not good for you. Matter of fact, it is actually innately wrong for you to speak down on yourself. Like Proverbs 18:21, there's the power of death and life in the tongue. Actually, that's one of my favorite verses. And yes, I said it in a specific way. The King James Version says, Proverbs 18:21, there is a power of death and life in the tongue. Not life and death. And the reason the King James Version talks about there's the power of death and life in the tongue is because naturally as people, we're going to naturally, innately speak death over things. It's our brain's survival mechanism, right? To look at the negative sides of things. So my goal today, after we get done with like this little powwow, is going to be for you to understand how to overcome the negative self-talk, for you to understand why do you have negative self-talk and what is negative self-talk, okay? So let's start there. Negative self-talk is honestly the opposite of where you want to be at. If you're like, it's not fair to you if you're speaking bad to yourself. And it's not just like the verbal words, it's more so the internal monologue, right? The internal dialogue, monologue, the internal conversations that I can't see between you and you. Those conversations are actually the most important. Because think about this. If there's a scripture, it's greater is he that is in me, greater is God that is inside of me than he that is in the world. So the person who is speaking to myself is the God in me. So if I'm speaking negative into myself, it's actually going to come. Right? There is this scripture, I could be wrong, I think it's Hebrews 10:35. It says, when a person decrees something, it shall be established unto them. So whatever you say, it is. Like, I'm dead, like, and I'm telling you, I'm dead. Whatever you say it is, everything has two sides. It has to be created spiritually first, then physically. Yes, words are a form of spirit, like the spirituality. So whatever you say, every word has an answer, so which is called a thought. So whatever you say, you think, you become. So just imagine about where you are right now in life. You actually spoke that into existence, right? Like you spoke that relationship. You spoke maybe your current situation. You may actually not be aware of how you got there. So now let's kind of digress, and then it's also about being mindful, okay? Yes, being mindful is very, very important. And what I mean by it is actually understanding that you're having internal thoughts and actually regulating those internal thoughts. Yes, you cannot stop thinking. I'm not saying, this is just my own perspective. Overthinking is a very interesting topic, but I do believe that you can control your thoughts. I'm not saying that you can stop them, because I do believe that's impossible, right? We have so many thoughts a day, but what I will say is that you can actually focus on certain thoughts. So whenever you get a negative thought, what can actually stop it? Just like the only thing that can destroy iron is rust, right? The only thing that can stop itself is itself. Think about it like this. The only thing that can stop a thought is a thought. So when you're aware that you're having a negative thought, you may not be able to stop the negative thought, but when you are aware that you have a negative thought, you can stop it in its tracks and you can stop it from recreating. Let me run this back. You may not be able to stop the random negative thought, but you also can stop the recreation and the procreation of that thought so there won't be any more. What that means is that I'm going to be aware of what I think. Like for an example, work isn't going good today. And when you're aware of that, change the thoughts and repeat it until you start feeling it. Just walk around. Today is going to be a good day. I don't know how. Matter of fact, you don't have to know how. That's why we mess up. Like, why are you worried about stuff like let God do God things? Your job is not to worry about how because you know who. Your job is just to trust who, which is God, and let him worry about the how, which is God's timing. So when you worry about the how, you're really handicapping God. So what I'm saying is, you don't have to know how, but God, like we said in our other videos. But this is very important. Even if you don't feel it, just start saying it. Start putting yourself there. Like, go there before you get there. Like, that's the most important thing. Go there mentally. Go there visually. Close your eyes. Give yourself 5 seconds. Like, go there before you get there, okay? And then go get you a milkshake from Dunkin' Donuts.